Okay, hi everyone, it's Teacher Matt here, and we're going to be making our own superhero player piece today for the Englishero role-playing game. So as you can see, we have we maybe have done our design on the computer here first using the player sheet, and then once you've designed the costume, we can turn that into a real 3D model playing piece, which is going to be on this cork base. And we have a nice little glass top here. Sorry, it's a little bit smudged. That will protect the playing piece, so we can then use it to play. Oops. We can use it to play on the Englishero player mat. Okay. Now I'm not gonna make, this is my daughter's design over here with the pink boots and the pink everything. I'm not gonna make this superhero. I decided today I'm gonna make something I'm a bit more familiar with. I've made a Wonder Woman, so I thought maybe I'll make a Captain America today. I'll have a go at that. This was actually my first attempt, this Wonder Woman. It came out okay. I'm about 80% happy with it. There's some things I might do differently the next time. This time I'm going to show you now. I decided to draw on her later with a pen, but it probably wasn't the right kind of pen. It was a bit thick, so you can see like her eyes and stuff are all a bit messy. So I'm not sure the drawing was a good idea. But anyway, there you go. It came out quite nicely. It wasn't the easiest one to start with either. My daughter decided that we should make Wonder Woman first, but she's actually quite complicated. Anyway, inside here there is a wire frame, and I'm going to show you how to make a simple wire frame. So she's actually quite strong, quite sturdy. She won't fall over. The only thing I probably should have done is put a bit of wire in the sword, because the sword is just plasticene and it's a little bit flimsy. I don't think it's going to break off too easily, but I probably should have put a bit of wire in there as well. Anyway, with the case on, she's fine. She looks pretty good from a distance. It's definitely recognizable what she is and who she is. She fits nicely in the glass, so it's not bad. So this is not terribly difficult. It looks very difficult, but it's not terribly difficult. I'm going to be using a different kind of plasticine today from the one I used last time. So I've got this, which should be fairly quick drying, but we'll see how it works. I hope it'll actually work better than this. This was a bit soft, this plasticine, so I couldn't really do very detailed work. And every time I kind of pushed something on, it kind of squished a bit too much. So I think this will actually be a bit better. Right, okay, let's get started. So first of all, we're going to take this nice new container, and I have totally not prepared by undoing it, so I'm just going to do this now. Take it out. Okay, there it is. It is glass, so we have to be a little bit careful with it, but it's not smudged, which is good. Okay, put this over here. Right, now the first and most important thing to do is to get the wire, and we need to get the length a little bit right here, because if it's too big, it's going to be outside the glass. So simple measure. We're going to use the base to measure. It's the easiest way. I'm going to put this across the base like this, and then I'm going to fold the wire, and I want the wire to be just a little bit longer than the base. That should be about right. We need a little bit of extra space to for the feet to go into the base as well. So we want it to be a little bit longer than the base. Okay, that looks okay. We can always trim it off later. So I am just going to, oops, that's the wrong one. That's the pliers, not the tweezers. Okay, it's a bit tricky. I'm doing this on the camera, watching the camera at the same time. I'm going to cut it about there. All right, it's nice and easy to cut. Right, I've now got my wire, and it should be about equal length. Okay, I'm gonna fold it, but not too much. Now, the first thing to do is to make the head. So what I'm gonna do, near the top here, I'm just going to twist. Okay, there we go. That is going to be a head. Let's just check it's about the same size. Yes, it is. You can see in proportion to my fingers, I guess it's kind of like the same as your little fingernail, about that kind of size. Okay, and I'm gonna twist it a few times. Down to, now the head should be about 1/7 of the body length. So kind of want to do this, judge this by eye. Probably one more. So how many times did I turn that? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I should have counted, shouldn't I? Let's undo it and do it again. Which is actually a little tricky to do. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times I've twisted it. I think that's about enough. 4 times twisted. Okay, there you go. We now have a basic body which can go into here. Let's just check that the lid, yeah, we've got lots of space, no problems. Okay, we'll try and push him in a moment, but first of all, we need to add some arms. I think it's better to keep this off before we add the arms. Now the arms are just going to be another piece of wire that's going to go across the body, and the arms, what I want you to do is cut another piece of wire about the same length as the body. About there should be okay. So it's quite long, as you can see. And what I'm going to do, very simple. I'm just going to untwist the head 1 time, and actually maybe 2 times in this case. Okay. And I'm going to put this, oops, no, I think I want it undone a little bit more. See, I unbent this earlier, so it's a little bit more bent than I wanted. And I'm going to put this through a hole. So you see there's the hole at the top here. And then I'm going to screw it back up again. 1, 2. And there you go. I have my arms. Now, that's not going to stay there, so we do have to glue that a little bit. And I got some super glue here. Might be your teacher will have to help you with this. This is really fine. It's got this really needle-like little lid coming out. Okay. Right, and I'm gonna, oh, where's the nice applicator gone? Okay. Well, let's be really careful. Okay, it comes out not too fast. Just gonna put a blob there. Ooh, quite a big blob, okay. Did have a nice little nozzle at the end, but it's fallen off. Okay, no matter, right. Don't worry if it blobs up a bit. I'm gonna press it down with my fingers, which is gonna make me all gluey, but it really doesn't matter because we're gonna cover it with plasticine later anyway. Oops. You can tighten this up a little bit as well if it needs it. Okay, I'll just leave that to dry for a second. Rub my fingers together to get rid of the glue. While it's drying and I'm distracting myself. Still not quite set. Oops. Now, if I twist this too much, I'm going to have too much neck. So I've got to be a little bit careful of that. it's not quite setting the way I wanted. Okay, well, it doesn't matter too much if it doesn't set, because we're going to add plasticine to it later anyway, so that will help. Right, let's get started on the body. So Captain America is mostly blue, so I'm going to be largely working in blue, and that's a pretty good color for Captain America. Okay. Right. Now this stuff is pretty sticky, and you can work with it quite nicely. So I'm just going to put a blob of this, small blob, over the body, and I'm going to start working it round the back. Again, the shape does not matter at the moment too much. I just want it to kind of keep things in place a little bit. There we go. It's not very beautiful, but it's going to start to keep those arms in place. We're going to add to this later. So try to make a little thin stomach there. We don't want the stomach to be too fat. And then we've got sort of a diamond shape. Also make sure the neck is not too fat as well. Don't worry about shoulders and things like that yet. We'll go and sort that out later. And there we go. We've got a basic little armature. And that's going to hold the arms in place. Right, there we go. I'm going to leave that to dry for a little bit and then come back, because I want that to be a little bit firmer before I start moving other things around. Oops, I squished that too much. Made the diamond. Okay, there you go. A little diamond. So right, there you go. There's our very basic figure, which we're going to add to later. Like I say, the goal is to get to here. It looks like a long way away, but don't worry. We will gradually build up the model until it looks like this. But there you go, we've got a little person. This is called an armature, which means a sort of basic framework, and we can then work on that. There you go. Right, we'll come back in a bit when it's dry. Okay, we're back. I cheated a bit because I don't have all day to wait. You probably want to leave this till the next day to get it nice and hard, but I just blew dry it with a hot hairdryer for a few minutes, so it's a little bit harder now, but it's still quite soft actually. It's hard enough to support things. So we'll carry on with this as it is. Now I've got a picture of Captain America here. You will be designing your own superhero, of course, so you will have your own color scheme, but I'm just using this one because I know it well. So I've got a picture here for reference. Okay, let's start building up the body a little bit more now. So again, I'm going to be working mostly in blue. His suit is mostly blue. Of course, the face, we're going to need some skin color, and also his. We'll make the shield separately, so don't worry about the shield, and also the middle, the midriff there. He's a bit white as well. Hang on a second, this is struggling to focus on the correct place. Okay. Right, let's try and build up the body a little bit more now. We'll start with the head, shall we? Okay, I really like this kind of plasticine because it is sticky and it's easy to work with. Right, I'm just gonna get a little ball and just stick it on the front of the head there. I'm just really trying to cover the armature, the wire. Again, the shape doesn't have to be perfect yet. We can work that later, and it's gonna be very flat, which again, that's actually good. We want it flat because we're gonna build up layers later. So don't worry if it looks a bit strange. Okay, I'm gonna put one on the front and one on the back. just to start giving it a bit of 3D depth. And I'm just tapping that around so that it covers the wire. Again, it's not really going to look like a head yet, but it's something we can work on. All right, not bad. Haven't quite covered all the wire yet, but don't worry about that. Try to make it a little bit head shaped. It's getting a bit eggy around there. All right, not terrible, it will look better later. Okay, now let's start working on, let's try the arms, shall we? Now I find the easiest way to do the arms, or what worked best with the Wonder Woman, was actually just to start putting kind of muscle groups on and then building up from there. So first of all, it's probably a bit big actually. Let's take a little ball, put it on his shoulders. Obviously, Captain America's quite strong. Most of your superheroes are gonna be quite strong. They're gonna have strong shoulders. So I'm just pushing that on and trying to blend it with the rest of the body. There you go. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do another shoulder. I'm just sticking that on there. Again, just sort of pushing it onto the wire, blending it a bit. Oh yeah, big muscles. Okay, cool. Right, then working down the arms. And it might be a good time now actually, before we go too far, I sort of forgot to bend the arms now into the position that we want them in. So if I'm gonna have him holding his shield, a bit like in the picture, just kind of down like this, we can kind of bend at where the elbow would be. I should have done this really before I put the shoulders on, but a little bit forgot, but it doesn't matter, it's fairly forgiving. All right. Okay, that's a bit more like the pose I want him to. Of course, yours will be a bit harder because your plasticine will fully have dried, whereas I was not patient, but okay. Right, let's get another little ball. And this is gonna be his bicep, the muscle in the middle of the arm. Ooh, that's a big bicep, but he is Captain America. And again, I'm just gonna kind of push that onto the wire and try to shape it and tap it around a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. There you go. He's looking a bit stronger now. And I've largely covered that wire. Don't push it down too much, otherwise you'll make it too flat. You're just kind of tapping it. We want it to keep that ball shape. I'll do one on the other side now. Again, just a little ball. Push it on. Just squeeze it round so it's round the wire, but don't push too hard. Tap, tap, tap. There you go. Wow, look at those muscles. He has been working out hard. Okay. Would actually like those shoulders to be a bit wider, but we'll see whether I have to add more to those shoulders later. Okay, right, now the lower arms. So the lower arms, the muscle is not quite so bulging. I'm going to make a little bit more of a teardrop shape here, so I'm going to roll it to make a little bit of a sausage. And again, I'm just going to kind of push that round with the thick end of the teardrop closer to where the elbow will be. Okay, all right, we're all right. And I'm going to sort of move that round the wire. There we go. Don't worry about hands yet. Hands will be later. Okay, there we go. He definitely looks quite strong now. Okay, let's do the same again. A little bit of a teardrop, make a little bit of a sausage. And, oops, I don't think this one's quite the same size as the other one. If you don't feel it's quite the same size, just get a little bit more plasticine and smear it together. All right, I think that's a bit more, that feels more like the same as the other one. Oops. This teardrop's not quite so good though. Okay, I think we're good. Right, on it goes. Again, same thing, just smear it round, just try and cover that wire. Captain America, as the Red Dynamo would say. Okay, they're not quite the same length, but with the hands on, I think you'll notice rather less later. All right, there we go. Not bad. Right, while that's drying, we can work a little bit on the legs now. And I think it is now time to sort out the legs. So make sure the legs are kind of straight-ish, if they're not already, and not too close together where his hips are. And we're just gonna take, sorry, can you see that? I'm gonna hold it as close to the cork as possible and push. Now, this might be tricky. The wire might bend before it goes in. I'm pushing down. Oh, okay, he is going in. He's trying, his legs are trying to bend a bit as well. I'm gonna push more. Okay, he is going in now. It's a little bit difficult. With Wonder Woman, oops, I haven't really got him in the middle of the... Now, I'd actually quite like him to be a little bit dynamic. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna actually bend his leg a little bit so that it looks like he's kind of running to attack. Don't worry about feet. We're gonna add the feet later with plasticene. All you need to really worry about is the knees, where the knees are. So I want him to be a bit like he's running, and maybe I can still adjust the, ooh, what a mistake did I make. Okay, I just squashed his muscle. That's the only problem now. Once the muscles are on, if you're adjusting the arms too much, you might squash stuff. So I've got to now kind of remake that muscle a little bit. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. Ooh, that one too. Just squishing. Best guess. Okay, it's not going to be quite perfect, but if worse comes to worse, if you make a total mess of the arms, if you squish something, you can always rip it off and just reapply it. Damn it, I did squish his muscles a bit there, but I can always add a bit more later on. So, okay, trying to get his kind of shield in front of him. So I've got a bended leg there. It's gonna be a bit more dynamic than the Wonder Woman. I'm gonna pull his legs apart a little bit. I want him leaning forward, which is a bit trickier. Ooh. Okay, just keep bending and twisting and pushing until you're happy. All right, that's not bad. Now, I've got those two, I'm gonna pull him out now. I've got those two holes already made. What I'm gonna do is put a little bit of glue on the ends of his feet. Just squeeze from the bottom and hold it upright so it comes out the top. Gently, okay, a little bit of glue, a little bit of glue. There we go. Put the glue aside, and I'm going to put him right back into those holes that I already made and push him down. And if he's like the Wonder Woman, try not to squash the muscles here more. If he's like the Wonder Woman, hopefully that will be pretty stable. Just reposition the legs again so you've got him where he wants. Don't worry too much because we are going to cover this with plasticene. Okay. All right, there we go. Not bad. Okay, I'm going to go and blow dry that for a second. You would probably leave this now to set before we work on the legs, but I'm not patient, so I'm going to go and blow dry it a bit and come back. Okay, we're back after blow drying. It's just a little, still a bit soft, but a little bit better. Yeah, those muscles got a little bit squashed, but it's okay. We can probably add to them later. Right, I like this dynamic pose with the knee and the legs, so we're going to start to work on the legs now. So, again, a little bit of, just little bits, only ever need little bits. Right, this is going to be for his, between his legs and his butt. So I'm just going to take a little ball and squish it where his butt would be to make his butt and his hips. And I'm going to just squish it around the front here so that he's kind of got some hips. I'm trying not to touch the arms too much. Your arms will probably be dry by now, so you won't have this problem, but I'm in danger of touching things that I shouldn't touch. Now this is where having a little cocktail stick. Where are my cocktail sticks? I have lost my cocktail sticks. I'm just going to get one. Not a cocktail stick, sorry. It's actually a tool for flossing. This is where this can be useful. If you can't reach something, you can poke it a bit with this stick. There you go, just to make his hips a little bit more in line. There's a bit of metal sticking out there, which I'm going to have to cover. Okay, no problem. He needs a bit more butt. Okay, I'm going to start, oops, sorry, I'm out of the camera. I'm going to smooth this round here. Obviously, you know, the butt does stick out a little bit, so if he's got a little bit of a bigger butt, that's okay, I think. Right, there we go. Now, he's got a crotch and hips and a butt. If it's too big, as mine actually is a little bit, you can try and push it back up again to make a bit of a butt and a crotch area. I know Captain America has a very nice butt, so I need to make sure I do that well. Okay, right, that might change a bit, but that's okay to start with, I think. Right, let's start moving down the legs. Same idea as the arms. We're going to add muscles to the legs. We're going to add a top leg muscle, a bottom leg muscle, and a knee. So again, I'm just going to get a little piece of this. And I'm going to try and put it on the top of the leg and work it, smooth it up. Again, don't worry if it's not perfect. Just try and smooth it all together, but also don't squash it too much. It might not be big enough. Captain America has pretty strong legs, so we might have to add some more later, but not too bad. Get my stick and just tap that a bit, smooth it into place. Oops. The only problem with the stick is it can kind of create ridges, so you don't always want to use your stick. Fingers are usually best, I find, actually, even if it's fiddly. Right, let's do the other one on the other side. I'm putting it on the front first and then smoothing it round, because that big muscle on the front, we might have to put one on the back as well, actually. Yeah, I think we need one on the back too. Captain America's got quite strong legs, so he needs a bit more muscle. Okay, I'll put one on the back as well. I want to cover that. Ooh, there you go. Right, smooth that up again. Smoothing it from the side, smoothing it up. And that will naturally form those muscles, and I guess it will give him a bit more of a butt as well. Captain America's butt is very important. Okay, same again, I'm gonna add a little bit to the other side. Ooh, that's a big muscle. That's definitely gonna become a butt. Okay. There you go. America's ass. Oh, those are some serious muscles. Look at that. Serious legs. Okay, good. Oh, I just realized I haven't put the lid on my glue. Sort that out. Okay. Now, if I feel that his crotch needs to be a bit higher, I can again smooth a bit here, push this up. I don't want to do it too much, but just a little tapping just to give it a bit more shape. There you go. We have a butt. I can even emphasize the butt a bit more. America's ass. Right, there you go. Not bad. There's still a bit of metal showing at the front there, so he's going to need a little bit more. But he's got a belt, hasn't he? So I can add a belt later, so maybe that won't matter. Okay, we've got some strong upper legs there. Don't worry if they look a little bit too big. If it looks a little cartoony, as you saw with my Wonder Woman, she's very sort of cartoony. I think that actually looks quite good. So don't worry if it's not photorealistic. Right, let's do the lower legs and the knees. I'm gonna do the knees last because they go on top. So again, a little bit of little ball, just little balls always. And on, wait a minute, I forgot. He has boots, doesn't he? So maybe I don't want to use blue for this. Maybe what I want to use is another color. Right, let's go brown. I'm feeling the brown. Could go black. Should I go black? Oh, maybe go black. I'll save the brown for the straps he's got on his suit for later. Okay, I'm gonna get a little ball, and again, I'm gonna put it on the back of his leg where the sort of calf muscle, this is called the calf muscle, is, because that is on the back of your leg. In fact, I probably should make it a bit more of a teardrop shape, a little bit of a sausage. Okay, on the back of his leg, ooh, okay. Just move it onto place. If you get it wrong, just take it off. And I'm just gonna push it down and round the front of his leg. There you go. This is gonna be his boot, but it's not finished yet. We'll make the foot in a minute. We're just making the calf muscle. And don't worry about the knee. We'll add the knee in a minute too. We're not at the knee yet. We'll go back to blue for the knee. Right, again, little ball. Same thing, I'm gonna sausage it a little bit and then put it on the back. This one's a bit trickier because it's bent. Oops, and I got it upside down. Good job, Matthew. Okay, we'll try again. Sausage it, and I want the thick part at the top. I'm gonna push it on from the back into place. There we go, that worked better this time. And again, I'm just gonna push it around the front. If there's not enough for it to go around the front, that's fine. I'll just add some more on the front. Just a little bit more to make that boot. I'm just plopping it on and then smearing it. Sorry, you can't see. Smearing it with my finger. If I can't get to it because my finger, I'll use my little tool. Tap, 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 tap. Just the rough shape. That boot's a little bit thick. Oops, I'm actually carving it. You can actually use this to cut something off like that if you want to. Oops, sorry, not in the camera. You can tell this is my first time making this kind of video, can't you? Tap, 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 tap. All right, that's not too bad. Can't use that side. All right, shape's not terrible. I kind of want to move this up. Ooh. Great thing about plasticine, you make a mistake, you just keep pushing until you get what you want. Okay, we've got the start of some boots there. It's not perfect, but I think with the knee, oops, it will look not bad. Right, okay, let's do the bottom now, the actual foot. So again, little ball. It's all little balls. I'm gonna push it down where the foot is. And again, I'm just going to smooth it to try to make a boot. This is getting a little tricky to get past that. Tap, tap, tap until it's the shape that I want. There's a little bit of metal there, I just can't quite cover it. Tap, tap, tap. I'm gonna have to poke it into place to get over that metal. I mean, if you were making a robot, of course, then actually having parts still showing the metal could be really cool. So you could do an amazing like cyborg or robot superhero and just leave parts of the metal showing. It would look awesome. Right, okay, it's not terrible. His butt is a little bit big, but it's okay. If I want to just tap that up there a little bit. It's not actually his butt, it's this top muscle. Okay, not terrible. Right, the knee will make it look really good. Right, first of all, let's just finish this other boot. So again, little circle, same thing. Gonna put it just down where the foot is, and then I'm just gonna smooth it into place, get the shape I want, cover the metal. Push that down a little bit more. Push it in a little bit more, make it a little bit more triangle shape. I want to cover that metal if I can. It's proving a little bit difficult to cover the metal, but I'll just put a little bit more black on it then. Bit more black there. Smooth it in. Make sure it's the same basic shape as the rest of the shoe. There you go. That actually looks better anyway. Tap, 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 just nudging it to make it look a bit more triangular. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's all right. Ooh, pushed it too much. I still prefer my fingers to this tool, but okay, not too bad. I've still got a little bit of metal cover on the other boot, and then we can do the knees, and then the legs are more or less there. First time I did this, it took me 2.5 hours, but I think this time we'll probably do it rather faster. But I expect you'll do this over several days as you let the different stages dry. Can I cover that metal? More or less. His legs are a little bit wonky over here, but again, I think we'll solve that later. All right. Not terrible. Okay, I promise you the knee would do a lot of work, and it will. We have to add knees. Right, again, knee is really, really easy. A little bit of blob. I'm going to use blue for his knees because his knees are blue. And I'm just going to put it right on top of the knee. So the join, this will also nicely cover the join between the upper leg and the boot, and it will make his legs look. There you go. And, you know, superheroes often have like a kneecap piece of armor anyway, so it doesn't even have to be blended in too much. I'm just going to leave that like that. I'm going to do another one. Little blobs, little pinch. Oh, that's not quite enough. That might be too much, but we'll try. Okay, and blob, on he goes. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, and I'm not even gonna blend it in too much. And there you go. That's not terrible, and he's even got a reasonably nice butt, which I feel is very important. The boots, I wouldn't mind adding a little bit more to the boots. I might add a little bit to the back if I'm being picky. In fact, I'm just gonna add a little line and squish it round. It'll make the top of the boot look, yeah, that looks great. There you go. I just added a bit of a kind of a reverse kneecap, which is really the top of the boot, and it just makes it look a bit more chunky. Okay. Same thing, just gonna smear that round to make the top of the boot. I'm not doing very much at all. Oh yeah, that looks way better. Still not quite happy with this foot though. I'll just squish this down a little bit. Problem is the wire is right out on the edge here because of this dynamic pose, so it's really easy for it to show. All right, that's not bad. I'm relatively happy with that. Not bad at all. Okay, lower body, sort of done-ish. Now, he's still looking a bit thin. I can still reposition the arms a bit because mine's not totally dry. He's still looking a bit thin in the upper body. Probably should have made his shoulders a bit wider actually, but that's going to be hard to fix now. Okay, what I'll do, let's just do the midriff and see how that comes out. So I'm going to need a bit of white now. For the midriff, because that's kind of a Captain America thing. I think I'll try and do the back first. That might be a little bit too much. A lot of it's about judging how big the ball should be. Okay, I'm gonna just, oh no, I've covered his butt. That's all right, I'll just fix that later with a bit more blue. Right, I'm gonna try and get this into the right shape. This is a little tricky because I'm trying to get it round under his arms, and I've smeared his butt, as you can see there, which is a bit of a pain. I can't just wipe that off, but that's all right. Right, where's my shaper? Try and get that into position. I'm gonna, could even add a couple of lines, I suppose. A little bit of texture, okay. Try and get this around the side a little bit. Sorry, I'm covering the view. Try and do the same over here. Oops, what's happened there? Oh, it's just some glue, okay. It's fine. Tap, tap, tap. All right, you can see it's around the edges here. I now need to do the front. This might be a bit trickier. I've got to try and do it without smearing all over the arms, so I'll be a bit careful. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna try and push it gently. Now, I can't really get my finger in there, so I'm gonna have to use my shaper, pull it around the edge a bit and under his arm. Push it into the position I want. I'm gonna add a bit more chest, so this is not the end. All right, that's not too bad. I would like a little bit of a line. But if I push too much, it's gonna go through to the blue. And I push too much. Oh, bugger. Okay, yeah. Looks like he's wearing some kind of dessert. Okay, I'm just gonna squish that with my finger a bit. Try to pull that up a bit. Try and fix it, okay. All right, it's not too bad now. Pull that around. Okay, not too bad. I'm probably going to give him a bigger chest, so, and I'm also going to give him a belt, so that will cover up some of that in a minute. Not bad. Right, I think it's time for a quick blow dry. So you might let it rest there for a bit after doing the legs and the midriff. But I'm just gonna go and blow dry it again. Okay, we're back after a quick blow dry. He's getting a bit more firm now. It's getting a little harder to adjust things, but that's okay. Some things are still a bit soft though, so I can still play around with them a bit. Right, I'm not happy with his chest and his back at the moment, and his butt's got some white stuff on it, so I've got to cover that up too. Just gonna put tiniest bit of blue here on his butt and then smooth it in just to cover up that white smudge. Okay. Give him an even more powerful butt. All right, now he's got, as you can see, we've got metal poking out of his back, and his shoulders, his chest is not really big enough. Some of that is because I didn't really make the shoulders wide enough. That's hard to fix now, but what I can do is make his chest a bit bigger. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a little sausage, and I'm gonna stick it plop in the middle there, and I'm gonna try and smooth this into a kind of chest plate to give him a bit more of a 3D, big, powerful chest. I actually want it to come down a bit over that white as well, because the white was a bit too big and it's not a great shape. I need to push that white in a bit. Okay, it's a bit better. If his waist is thinner, it'll make his chest look bigger. Okay, it's better, it's better. Right, okay, there you go. He's got a bit of a chest plate there now. Could add another one. Maybe I will do one more because this is Captain America and he really should look kind of buff. Okay. Ooh, that's a big one, okay. I'm gonna put that on across the front here. Push it down a bit. Now this is probably gonna be the last one, so I've really got to make it quite like a chest, like pecs. So I'm probably going to go in with the shaper tool. Try to push those muscles into a nice triangle. Tap, tap, tap. Down a bit. Okay, it's probably a bit too big, but never mind. I'm gonna give him a bit of a middle line there to separate these. Wow, those are big muscles. Okay, it's all right. It's Captain America, I can get away with it. Those are huge muscles. His pec muscles are actually bigger than his, they're actually spilling onto his biceps. They're so big. All right, anyway. Oh, he's got big muscles. Okay, I can flatten that down a little bit, but it'll just make it even wider if I flatten it down too much. Yeah, that was probably a bit big actually. Never mind. He is looking buff, and that was the intention. I can make it a bit more triangular. Okay, we'll add a star later. Hopefully that will distract. Now, the other problem is now his muscles look kind of pathetic because his chest is so big. So I really think I need to cheat a bit because I didn't make the muscles wide enough. I'm going to add muscles. And actually, he's got kind of shoulder pads anyway. So I think this won't hurt at all to add kind of another blob on the shoulders. Smooth it in. Yeah, that definitely helps a bit. Okay, I'm gonna do one on the other side. A bit bigger actually. As well. Again, another blob. Blob, blob, blob. Oh, that's probably a bit big, but it's okay. And yeah, that's definitely helped make it look like his shoulders are not so weak. Okay, just get that a little bit down a bit. All right, not bad. He definitely does look quite strong. Now the back. Again, same thing. Make a little teardrop, little sausage, put it across the back. How will I do this? Actually, yeah, I'll just do it like this. And just smooth it into place to cover that metal. If you want to put a line in there to give him kind of a backbone, that's probably not a bad idea. Okay. Not too bad. Okay, he's definitely looking a bit more buff now. Still wish those shoulders were a bit wider. Now the arms, because the shoulders, I've made the shoulders look so big, now the arms look a bit pathetic. So I'm gonna buff up his arms a bit more with some bigger muscles, and I've also still got some metal to cover here as well. So I've put an extra bicep on there. Okay. Big guy. Right, it's definitely looking better now, and I'm gonna put on the reverse side, I'm gonna put a tricep. That's also just really to cover that metal. Giant arms. Okay, I'll flatten them down. Oh, sorry, flatten them down a little bit. I don't want them too flat or they'll stop looking like muscles again. Okay, good. Arms looking much better now. He didn't skip arm day. Same thing again, I'm gonna put another bicep on here. To match those huge chest muscles and to undo the fact that I squashed them earlier, and also a little bit of a tricep here, which is, ooh, that's a bit difficult. Okay, wow, those are some arms. Just pressing lightly. I don't want to lose this round shape too much. Oh. Okay, now his bicep is over his chest. Again, as it should be. Those are some serious arms. Oh, look at him on the side. He's a big guy. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of compensating for the fact, making up for the fact that I didn't make the shoulders wide enough. So I'm cheating a bit, but it's all right. I don't think I need to add too much to the lower arms because we're going to put hands on him in a minute. So that's okay. Right, we're getting close to the detail stage. Let's just put that over there for a second and let it dry a little bit while we make the shield. So, gonna make this out of Play-Doh. It's quite a big shield, isn't it? Now maybe, I don't know. I wonder if we should use some wire here. Thinking about it. But it'll be hard to make a circle with wire. No, I'm just gonna do it with plasticene. If you were making some kind of long weapon, like a spear or a sword, you might wanna cut another piece of wire and model that around it, and then we can just stick it on later. Something I should have said earlier as well, if your character has more than 2 arms, or supposing he's got wings, then that's fine, you can do that. All you would need to do is make another piece of wire, cut another piece of wire, and the same thing, stick it through the hole in the body and then twist, just like before. So I could easily have done, you know, if I wanted to have a sort of Spider-Man Iron Spider with, you know, 4 arms coming out the back, as well as his 2 arms and 2 legs. You could do that. You'd have to have 2 extra pieces of wire twisted into the body. It would be quite fiddly because they would be getting in the way when you're trying to shape things. So I'm not saying it would be easy. The same if you want to have angel wings, you know, you'd have to have a piece of wire coming up here, and then you could build the wing around that. Again, not so easy, but it is definitely possible. The other way is you could make the wings separately and then stick them on the back. I suppose that might be a bit easier, but the problem is if it's just a big piece of plasticine with no wire inside, it's going to be hard for it to support itself, even though this plasticine does dry very, very hard, very kind of rubbery actually. So yeah, different ways. Obviously, we also want it to be able to be inside the glass. So if your wings are too big, you've got these massive wings, then you're not going to go inside the glass, which will protect your superhero. So, you know, the wings could maybe be just this big. And in which case, you probably can do it with wire, actually. It's just they're going to get in the way a lot. It will be very fiddly. So be prepared for that if you want to be a bit more ambitious with multiple arms and things. Okay, right. Let's do the shield. So I've got a big ball of blue here. I just tilt this down a bit so you can see. I'm just going to use the table here. Right, I'm just going to circle it and I'm going to push down to make a nice round shield shape. Let me see, is that big enough for him? Let's just stick it on there and have a look. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, I could probably squish it a little bit more. Oop, uh-oh. Uh-oh, I only meant to attach it lightly. Oh no, it's got attached. Oh no, come off. Okay, it stuck to his bicep. That massive bicep. Okay, I'm gonna put that down again. Right, okay, so squish it down, try and make it nice and flat and circular. If you've just squished a ball down, it probably will be fairly circular. That's not a bad circle. Sorry if you can see that. All right, there we go. Now, oh, I just realized his shield isn't blue, is it? Bugger, that's not gonna work. Let's get the red out. Totally forgot what color his shield is. How about that? So I will use that later. Okay, same thing again. We'll try again now with a bit of red. It's quite a bright red, isn't it? Might add a little bit of black in there to try and make it a bit darker. So you can mix the colors if you want. Let's see if this works. Squish, 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 squish. Just keep squishing until the color changes. I don't know if this is going to actually mix or if it's just going to give us a dirty black. Yeah. Way to mix it. Just squish it really, really thin and then bring it back together and then do it again. Okay, well it has made it a little bit darker. All right, we'll use that then. Okay, big ball. Same thing, squish it down. Nice big circle. Okay, now this is going to be tricky because, of course, Captain America's shield is not just one color. If I make sure it's not so thin that I can't pull it up. Yeah, I've made that too thin, so I can't actually pick it up. Okay, now I'm going to make a simplified Captain America shield here. Sorry, probably not in view. Okay, I can sort of just pick that up and flatten it down again. Right, I'm going to put a white circle inside it now. Sorry, view again. Oops, that didn't come out very well. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay, flatten this down. Pick it up. Put it on. In the middle. Okay, not too bad. I'm not going to flatten it too much, otherwise it will cover too much of the red. It's already probably too big. And I'm going to put a bit of blue in the middle. I know there's another, more stripes than that, but I think it's going to be difficult for us to do that. So same again, push it down, make a circle. Try and put that in the center. Ooh. Okay. All right, it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. No. Try to keep the shape. This is particularly difficult to do in circles, of course. Whoa. Oh my God. Kind of just pinching the edges, trying to keep them together. Difficult. Let's see how that looks quickly. Rubbish. It's too fat. Okay. There's another way we can do this, which would be with using pens. Let's see what would happen if I push this down. Yeah. Didn't really work. I think the problem was I got the circles too close together in size, so they just kind of blended together. Let's try one more time. I'm not going to give up on this. Start with the red again, push down. Get the white. Not too big, push down. Hey, that's too small though. Push down, but I'm not going to push down too much. Okay, now this time I'm going to push them both down, and hopefully the white will not cover all of the red, but it will also not be too thick. Okay, that worked better. Dare I do another red? I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for broke. I'm going to try and do the whole shield. Right, I'm going to push that down again. Okay, it's kind of working. We don't screw this up. And then the blue. I'm just going to put a dot in the middle and just push it. Oh, it's kind of working, just pushing it down. It's pushing out the other layers. That's not bad. And it's not too fat this time. Right. Now, don't worry about the star for the moment. We'll leave the star. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit, because if I move it now, I'm going to screw it up. You probably would want to actually leave that for quite a long time and let it completely dry now, if it's good and it's the right shape. I just don't want to, I'm just going to mess it up if I do anything with it. Right, okay, let's go back to cap over here. So, okay, chest is not bad now. We probably now need to work on the head. So I've got some blue from earlier, and I'm going to put a bit more on the back of his head because he's still kind of, I can't cover that metal. I'm actually going to bring it down to his neck as well. Bring it around, make a bit of a shape. If you were adding hair here, and hair you usually want to make kind of sausages and then add them one by one down on the back. That's what I did with the Wonder Woman. That's just a bunch of kind of sausage, then added, then another sausage from the top of the head. But of course Cap has got a hat on, so I can't do that. I'm just kind of trying to make his face a bit more smooth, and we'll add the jaw in a moment, which of course is more exposed. That's not quite the right shape for the helmet, but I'm trying to cover the neck and the... Okay, it's a bit better. Okay, I'm just going to pinch it forward here. That will start to give a sense of a nose, but we haven't really got a nose yet. All right, that head is a bit better, a bit more the right size. Right, okay, let's add, I think it's time to add the face. So, of course, for Cap, just the lower jaw is visible. So I'm just gonna add a little blob for his mouth. That's too big. Okay. Oh, that's probably still too big, actually. Let's take that off a bit. Make a little sausage and add it there. Try to get it into the right place and smooth it out a bit. Looks a bit like Donald Duck at the moment, but don't worry, we can add more blue over the top in a minute. Again, kind of push that into the right shape. Give him a nice square jaw. All right, that's not too bad. Like I say, I'm gonna add more to the blue above in a minute. So at the moment, it looks like his face is sticking out, but I think it'll look much better once we add another level of the blue. Okay, I'm gonna push a little mouth in there. You could draw on a mouth, but I'm just gonna draw a little line. Okay, not bad. Yeah, not terrible. Okay, right, we'll add a bit more blue in a second. His head's a bit of an egg shape at the moment as well. That's partly the shape of the wire underneath. It was not quite perfect, but it's all right. It's not terrible. Got some gunk on his back, but it actually looks okay. Not looking bad now. Okay, right, we can start adding some details. While we're waiting for that head to and that shield to dry off. Don't think I'm brave enough to make the star yet, but we could add some of this brown. Let's do the red on the midriff and the belt. Right, now this is a little bit of detail work, so I'm going to take a very, very small little bit of tiny little ball. I'm going to make it into a nice sausage. Even that's too big. Really quite small. Now I want to just get this, I'm just going to kind of drop this into position. Okay, I'm really going to have to use my tool here because my fingers will just ruin everything. Oh, it's gone onto his chest. Can I angle that down a bit? Okay, it's a little bit on his chest, but kind of looks right. Right, I'm just pushing it on. I'm not pushing it down too much. Just to make one of those lines. All right, we'll cover that bottom bit with a belt. Right, let's do one more of those. I think we're only going to get 2 on, not 3, because it's just too detailed. Right, same thing. Very small little blob. And that's too much again. Small little blob made into a little line. I just dropped it on. And then I'm going to maneuver it into place. There's that word for drama level 0. Maneuver. Who remembers the word maneuver? Oh. Ooh, it's not going very well. It's not going very well. Not going very well at all. Oh my god. Okay. Kind of pushing it into position. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sort of. Didn't quite work the way I was hoping. But there you go. I suppose I have to do some on the back as well. The back will probably be easier. Oh, I've got some gunk on his bicep as well. Right, okay, well we may be able to cover that with a bit of brown later and it'll look better. Let's just do a little bit of on the back as well, which I think will actually be easier. Again, tiny little sausage. Putting it on the back. Problem is the sausage is a little bit long, but actually I don't care too much. If it goes over the red a bit, blue a bit, doesn't matter. Okay, and another one. Little sausage in my fingers. I'm just gonna, oh god. Okay. Tap, tap, tap. All right, it's not terrible. Again, I can probably cover that with the belt. All right, well, you get some kind of white and red line impression. From a distance, it'll probably look quite good. Close up, not so much. Right, okay, let's leave that for a moment. How's the shield doing? I've only had it here for a few minutes. Okay, we'll leave that for a bit longer. Definitely not brave enough yet to do the stars. Right, let's come back to the face. Like I said, I'm being a bit impatient here. You probably do this over more separate classes and separate days, but I don't have time. Right, I'm gonna just put another blob on the top of his face now. This is gonna be the front of the mask, and I'm gonna smooth that in. And that also lets me fix any problems with the jawline. Let's try and smooth it so you can't see the lines too much. Okay, can try and shape a little bit of a nose if we want, but I don't know if we really need to. You could stick a nose on if you care, but I think it's all right actually. Still a little bit of an egg-shaped top, but he's okay. Right, that's not too bad. Still wish those red stripes were thinner, but there's not much I can do about that. I think I was a little bit too ambitious adding stripes with plasticine. Oh, he's got some on his leg as well. Oops. Okay, what should we do now? Right, let's do these brown, the brown belt and harness around his arms, because he has got, you can see he's got a belt and a brown harness. Again, this is a little bit ambitious, but I think the belt will really help to cover up some of the mistakes with the... Right, as again, I was making a sausage and I'm just going to try to sort of put it on there. Okay, I've just sort of put it in place, and now I'm going to use my tool to smooth it round a bit. Especially this side, because there's really too much plasticine there. Tap, tap, tap. You can try to edit the shape a little bit. Don't worry if it's a bit too chunky. Yeah, that does make the red lines look much better. So it was worth doing it just for that. Okay, it's not quite the right width all the way along, but it does not look terrible. Right, okay, I'm going to add a little bit more on the other side, on the back. Same thing, I'm just going to roll up a little sausage. And tap, tap, oops, sorry, I'm off the camera again. Tap, 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 round the back. Yeah, it's a bit thick, but it's okay. Okay, put this here. A little bit of shaping as much as I can. Limit to what I can do here really now, but make that join up. All right, well, he does have a belt. There we go. I don't know if I want to dare actually doing, I was going to do some harnesses here and here, but I think they might look a bit rubbish, especially since he hasn't really got very wide chest. It might be a bad idea. So I think sometimes less is more. I've got to know when to stop. Okay, where are we up to? Right, so we've got a face. Face is okay, but I would like to add some eyes. You could just poke holes for the eyes. I think this time I'm gonna try and add little white dots. So again, very, 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 very tiny little ball here. Very, very small. And I'm just gonna put it into place and then roll it where I want it and position it. And same again, the other side. Oops. Okay, he's got two rather different sized eyes. Oh no, you're not gonna come off, are you? All right, I was able to rescue the second eye. Sort of squish it into place. All right. There you go. Looks a bit like goggles, but they are clearly eyes. Okay, good. Now then there's the only problem is the star. Star on the shield and star on the chest. So I've now got to work out how to make a little star, which again, I've not done before. Probably the easiest way to do this though, is gonna be kind of to just make a blob. You can see that. this down. I'm gonna make a little blob and then try and draw it out a bit using the no, that didn't work. The other idea I had was to make just, you know, make sort of 3 interlocking sausages. All right, we'll risk this. We'll try this way. So I am making this up a bit as I went along. I have not made a Captain America before, so. Okay, first of all, sort of the tip of the star. Not gonna push that on too much. And then I'm gonna try and add to it. With another sausage going across. Sorry, you can't see. Okay, it's more of a cross than a star at the moment. I was going to see if I can do something clever, like pull it down a little bit. Might be trickier than I... Okay, I can a little bit. Pull it down a little bit gently. And I'm also making a couple of other incisions. All right, well, it's not neither great nor terrible, but I think you'll know what it is at least. Pull that down a little bit more. Okay, well, sort of a star shape. Now the bigger question is, do I want to risk this on the shield? Okay. Well, while I'm thinking about the shield, let's just do the hands quickly. The hands are pretty easy. Right, let's just get a blob of the blue. I've still got some blue here, actually. So we're just going to make 2 big blobs for the hands and literally stick them on the end. So I'm going to roll them up a little bit. Oops, I've got some white on it. Never mind. Oops. I'm literally going to squish them on the end and then try and make them into a kind of big fist shape. Oops. Actually, that just didn't work. All right, let's try that again. Put it on. And curl it around a little bit to make kind of a fist. Might be a little bit big, this might be the problem as well. And that white is irritating me. Okay, I'm gonna pull a bit off. Right, try again. 3rd time lucky. Poke it on the end of the wire. There you go. Make it into a kind of a fist shape. You can curl it around a little bit like fingers curling round once you've got the size right. Okay. push it around a bit, curl it around. There we go. Right, good. Okay, let's do the other one. Poke it on, and then kind of curl it round to the front to make a kind of fish shape. Try and make sure it's not too tall, like he's got a bunched fist. Okay. I'm still slightly adjusting the pose, pushing him forward a bit. Because the wire is fixed in there, I can do that and it's not going to just snap off. But if I go too far forward, you know, we're not going to be able to put the glass over him, so. Okay. Right, we're getting there. So the shield. Still a bit scared about this star. But we can try, I guess. So again, a little sausage. In the middle. Here's my tool. Put it into a bit more of a triangle shape. Just tap, tap, tapping here. Sorry, you can't see. I might even just try and do this entirely with the push out the side of the star. Okay, it's not great, but it kind of looks a little bit like a star. Yeah, okay. Not terrible, not great. At least vaguely recognizable. Tap it down a little bit, but not too much. Right. Now, the only other choice we had was whether we put it on his back or his arm. I think I'm going to go with the arm, and in fact, he just grabbed that. So I'm just literally lightly pressing. You could let this dry and then glue it on. That would be another choice. Might actually be a better choice, frankly, given that I'm probably damaging the shield while putting it on. But I think this is quite sticky plasticine. It's more sticky than the one I used last time. So I think I might get away with just pushing it on gently, very, very gently. Okay, there we go. He is recognizably Captain America. I'd like him to be turned. I can actually still turn his body a little bit. Look, I can still position it a bit thanks to the wire underneath. And there we go. I guess that's kind of him done, really. It's quite cartoony. It's not very precise, but it does look like a person. It's a far cry from where we were earlier with just the wire. Looks much better. Yeah, he stands up well against the Wonder Woman. I almost think the Wonder Woman was better, but in some ways, other ways, maybe this one's better. There you go. So obviously this is quite ambitious with the level of detail. But the most important thing is the shape and building up those muscles bit by bit, layer by layer, just piece by piece, little ball by little ball, getting it the way you want, then adding some more and fixing it if you need to. You can still do more fixing, like I can see at the back there, there's a little, that line, those red lines are irritating me, so I'm just going to put a little bit of blue over it to cover that at the bottom here, just to cover that mistake. And you know, especially when you're dealing with armored superheroes, adding extra pads and layers, extra armor, it just looks like extra armor. So it doesn't really look bad at all. And there you go. A Captain America done in about under 2 hours this time, I think. And I was being impatient and blow drying it. Right, that will set hard. We're going to put the lid on it. And there you go. He should be pretty stable. He's already pretty stable, actually. Things are not falling off. I wouldn't want to drop him on the ground. And of course, this glass will break anyway. I'm not sure how stable that shield is going to be. That's my only worry. But I think everything's quite sticky, so it should be okay. Yeah, I'm 90% happy with that. Not too bad. I just wish the shape, I just think I made his shoulders too narrow, and that caused me a lot of trouble. Probably could have made the shoulders a little bit wider and it would have been better, but the proportions not too bad really. So you can see the head should be about, well, in a real man it would be about 1/7. There would be 7 heads in the body, but because this is kind of a cartoon and because he's also leaning over a little bit, we're probably more like 3, maybe 5 heads up, but I try and aim for 7. Anyway, there you go. That's how to make your own superhero. And, you know, don't make Captain America, don't make Batman, don't make Wonder Woman. Make your own superhero. It's much more cool with your own color schemes, his own weapons. You can really do whatever you want. Just try to make sure it's inside the size of this glass so we can protect it later. There you go. Thank you very much. Good luck. Have fun making your model. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you, I've left this to dry for a little bit, and you can actually do some final reposing. Because we've got wire and because the plasticine is rubbery, we can gently actually push things a little bit. I've actually turned his head a little bit to the right, so it looks a bit more like he's kind of hiding behind his shield. I pushed the arm and the shield a bit more into the body. This is easier when the plasticine has dried, so I'm not going to be damaging the detail. I can push it a little bit. I want this arm back a bit more. You see, I can actually push him and it doesn't break. I want him leaning down a little bit more. There you go, and that's a bit more of a dynamic pose. So you can actually make some adjustments, especially after the plasticine is done. Oh, the only thing is you can see a bit of the metal now, but it doesn't matter too much. There you go, that's a bit more of a dynamic pose. He looks like he's charging forward with his shield. That's quite cool.